I believe that's the number one reason why people don't go to conferences. Ego. They believe they know everything.
Most people are at inner war, especially leaders. Going into 2026, I'm just going to say it. Business is.
I'm sitting here with Ian Macklin, the president of the Elliott Group, a sales training organization. They have over 100 sales trainers in their organization. Uh, Probably the fastest growing sales training group that I've ever witnessed, right? You guys have only been around for less than 5 years, right? I mean, if I'm correct,
Yep, 6. Yep.
6 years, so I apologize. No, that's okay. Fast growing. They were going to talk about sales training, business, what they do, what they see. I mean, you guys deal with business owners every day in home services, auto. I thought it was kind of funny that you guys went into the home services and someone said, man, these guys are frauds. They're going to home services. What they need to know about home services. I said, they don't need to know shit about home services. They need to know how to sell. And you guys ain't telling you how to paint the fucking house. You guys are telling you how to get people to sign with you. Yeah, assuming that's what you're doing. You're not telling anyone how to paint the house, right?
No, I mean the home services business.
I'm not
You're
crazy, right?
Yeah, you're not in the plumbing business. You're not in the roofing business. You're not in whatever business you think you're in. What you're really in is the people business. And so we're a master at getting people to change. We're a master at getting cultures to grow. And ultimately it's just because, we've changed and grown and we've built a really good culture. We built a really good team, but we just understand people. We understand where people get stuck. We understand that people are the biggest enemies of themselves. And if we can teach them not just sales training, which I can get into in a little bit, but if we can teach them to be better leaders in their companies and better leaders in their communities and better fathers and better husbands and better mothers, we take a real leadership centric sales approach, which means if you can lead yourself better, ultimately you're going to change. Like we kind of say we're a sales training company. We're going to teach sales. We've been high level sales guys. But ultimately, what we're really after is the change of the human and that person to really grow. And if that person really grows inside of a company, there's nothing more special than seeing somebody actually like break a barrier in their life. If you break through a barrier in your life, something that you don't like, something that maybe has kept you stuck for a while, you break through that and you're learning a new skill. You're experiencing a thing called progress. You're on fire. You're serving your customers better. You're serving your team better. And so that's really what we're after.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that. I mean, you guys fast growing, fast growing. Talk about that, the leadership. Because I actually agree with you. I believe if you can change someone's human behaviors themselves, the people around them will either leave or change. There's no in between. Like yeah, if, if someone stops drinking alcohol, either people stop drinking alcohol around them or they leave that person. If someone stops doing drugs, cheating on your wife, whatever it is, any bad habits you have, the minute you say, I'm not going to do these, all those people you were doing them with either leave you or they change.
Yeah.
Like you talk about that, how that affects, and that comes down to bigger in companies also. Like that's why most companies don't break through because so many employers are drinking with their people at happy hour, thinking that's a work function. Is that really a work function? Probably not. It's more of a social function, right? I'm not saying it's not a place for the Christmas time, not Debbie Downer, but can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're a personal development company is really what we are. And I mean, we're people that were broken, man. I'm a person that, I did really well in sales. I was number one in my industry, in the automotive industry, out of hundreds of thousands of salespeople. I know how to kick ass. I'm driven. I've invested a lot of money in myself, which most people haven't. And so I always had a skill that people would come across me and they say, oh, you're unique. No, dude, I have some God-given abilities, but I've also just grinded my ass off for years when everybody else wanted to quit, right? I've also had to face myself and face the man in the mirror and see some things that I didn't like about myself and had to change, right? And so, but my career, I mean, I was an example of a person who made a lot of money, but like hated the person that they were. And meaning because I had made a lot of money, but then I wasn't close to God. I didn't have like I was drinking every day because my managers drank every day. So I just thought like I was an influenceable kid. I was 18. I got into the business. They taught me to kick ass. I was really driven. I wanted to make it. I came from nothing. My mom was in the military. She almost lost her legs. She still showed up every single day to work. She just retired after 40 years. I mean, and I tried to get her retired 10 years ago, but, but she just never would because she's so driven. So I've always had that like drive and that passion to be great and serve my family and be the leader of my family, the bloodline breaker of my family. But over the years, I was just around a lot of shitty leaders, to be honest. And even though I made money, I was an empty soul. I mean, I would have anxiety and panic attacks, and I would be going to work and I'm like, oh, not another day. And really, it's because I learned the skill of making money, but I didn't learn the skill of becoming the man that I saw myself as. And when you're living out of alignment of who you believe you should be, there's turmoil. There's an inner war. And most people are at inner war, especially leaders. Right now in 2026, going into 2026, I'm just going to say it. Business it's like a suicide mission for men. You've got to go in and learn operations.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Service Titan and Rilla, our technology of choice to helping us scale and grow our business and making sure all of our viewers have the technology to scale their business so when they want to sell it, they're able to.
Cash flow, sales, marketing. You're a husband, you're a father, you got to be faithful, you got to do this, you're in your community, and you wake up distracted. And then what happens to men in leaders, and pretty much, I mean, I coach thousands of leaders. It happens to every single one of them, and I'm sure you can agree that you go through this vortex of all these things that are going on. You got to learn. You're getting sued. Somebody just stole from you. Now somebody's posting shit about you, an old employee. You have all of these things. Now you got trust issues. You got all these different things. You're just getting your ass kicked, right? And and then there's a lot of like, you wake up 5 years later, 6 years later, you're disconnected from your kids, you're disconnected from your wife. Your wife starts to hate who you are. Your kids don't know who you are. And and I watch men and I watch leaders go through this every single day, and then they come to us and they're broken.
Go back at this. They're like, you guys are a leadership company, and they're not chopped up where it makes sense. So, yeah, tell me, like, when you guys are having, when you guys are, someone's coming to you guys, right? I mean, you guys do a very good job with social media again. And what's the number one problem that you're seeing across most leaders across the board for all the year, all organizations? So you see?
Well, I'd say the number one problem is identity, and it's the identity of the leader. It's what they believe is going to be possible, is going to happen, or it's not. And most leaders, they've sold their will to grow or win or develop, or they're a person that's just settled. And so, what what's that?
Why, bro? Why they sold their soul?
Well, I think a lot of them just got comfortable, man. Like, a lot of them have made some money, and then they've gotten their ass beat in the vortex of entrepreneurship, and so they've just gone along and they're just kinda taking what's given to them. And so in order to grow any organization, we have to grow the leader. We have to grow their identity, we have to grow their perspective, and we have to grow the way that they think, they operate, they see things. And then that the number one activator to me to grow a human to be able to do that is to put them around other people that are doing what they would do in a year in a day.
Well, it's funny you say that because you said we were talking before we got cut off there, and you said being an entrepreneur, like, is getting the shit kicked out of you every day. It is. Like, you don't understand. Like, if you're a truly an entrepreneur, you have more bad days than good days. That's a fact. You just hope, yeah, good. You just hope the good, the payout for the good is so much greater, you're willing to pay the price. I tell people to start with, and a reason why I'm able to do what I do, I always start with the end in mind. What's that end going to be? And for me, it's selling companies. I believe that's where the money is. I don't believe in income. I believe in generational wealth checks. Make sense? So I have a very different mindset where, like, I don't need a monthly paycheck. I just want a one-time check when I exit a company, right? But as you said, employees are going to quit. People are going to steal from you. People are going to fucking lie. People are going to sue you. Like, these are things that just happen daily. Like, that's just, I'm going to give you an example. How you talk about it because I'm not gonna use a name. I had a 12-year, 13-year friendship of a guy that I helped start his business over the last year. His wife worked for me and they were stealing from me. They were stealing my information. They started recruiting my employees. That's how I found out. They literally started recruiting. This is someone comes to my house for years for Christmas Eve. Now he'll play the victim somehow. She'll play the victim that I had to terminate, right? But we went through the emails and here it is, all my documents, my employee list, all my partners, like, you name it, was just sent to them. They stole from me. The most it is, and they'll flip this, they stole from me. And, what's funny was I terminated, obviously. And Jaleesa, my assistant, said, hey, did you ever talk to him or call him? I said, who? And she's like, the guy's name. I said, what for? She's like, to see what he did. I said, what do you mean? We know what he did. We have the email communication. We have 3 different verified people from 3 of my companies he tried to recruit. well, they all told us the same story in different settings. Well, am I calling him for what? Now I thought about that this morning and said, man, the old Lance Bachman probably would have called to have conflict and argue. And I'm not calling that guy. I'm just moving about my day. Can you talk about, like, I think that's where you see growth is when we're like, all right, this is just part of the deal. And you don't take it personal anymore. You just move on. That stress level is always going to be high and you have to be ready at any moment. I think that's why most people stop growing. They can't handle the stress of it. I mean,
Yeah.
you see that or no? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, man, dude, I got 105 people and 80 salespeople probably, and like it's a constant vortex of like emotional problems, this and that stuff, and if a leader isn't prepared for that or understand that that's part of the game, or why I believe like, dude, when you're pushing to get your best version of yourself mentally, like mentally, you're reading up on things, you're growing, in your physical health, you're getting better, so your perspective is sharper, you're in the Bible, you're growing, you have that faith, and you have these different things. You're not wearing all of those problems on your face. And what I see is a lot of leaders is they just become so numb because man, things become so challenging for them that they're not able to see like a way out of some of these problems. They're not able to find new strategies to adapt because they're just getting smashed by the business. And so they're just stuck working in the business every single day. They can't really get out of it. They can't really see anything different. So my goal is really just to pour some life into these business owners, some strategy into them. A lot of them are hard workers, but man, they're just not really hard thinkers. And if they could get out of that, man, what life could look like with having the right people around you is so huge. So yeah, man, I totally agree, man. It's hard to be an entrepreneur. It's hard to be, I have my own businesses, but I'm also the entrepreneur and the president of this company, and so I wear a lot of those same problems of the actual entrepreneur. But I think it's who you're around. When you're around the right people, you're going to see things differently. But a lot of people are just around their same old dipshit friends and their same old people that they're doing better than probably most people. And that's usually the danger of growth right there, is just being around the same people all your life.
here's a question for you. We're going to talk about the Elliott Group. We're going to talk about people think you're a cult. We're going to talk about a lot of different things about sales, leadership.
People definitely think we're a cult for sure. I get that every day.
I know, but my thing is this is, I do think you're a cult, Ian. I think that's a good thing. I cult, cult. If you say culture, right? We'll jump right into this because I have no problem with it. If you
Yeah.
say culture, cult was in culture, right?
Yeah.
Like LB Capital is a cult. Like I have no problem saying it to people. I expect people to wear all of our gear, our logos, only our merch. Like, and they want to because that's the energy brings energy, right? And it starts from the top down, right? Like it's just that simple. Like, but what is wrong with that? Look at anything great, right? Or bad, great or bad, most likely had some type of culture to it, good or bad. Anything in between, you probably just were living in limbo. I mean, honestly, think about it, like any great culture to it, right?
I love that. That's true.
Business-wise, anything, you know, bad, the culture was probably bad from the top down, coach sock, this like, and then it spreads like a fire, right? I got no problem. I want a cult here. Like I say it to people, I want a cult. I want people to be my employees. I want you to be one or two things, and this is going to sound horrible for all my employees. 'Cause I call them families, all my leaders. I want you to be a raving fan of Lance Bachman. I mean, a raving, like he is the best guy. He'll do anything for me, right? Or I want you to fucking hate me, right? Just I want you out. I want you out. I want you out, and I want you to hate me. I want you to never talk to me again. And I'm okay with either one. Yeah, but there is no in between. If you're with me, you're with me. And I say this, and I'll eat in the basement with you, and I'll eat in the penthouse with you.
Yep.
It's no different where we're eating if you're with me. What I won't have is someone that's not sure where we're eating, what we're doing, half in, half out. So, like, I don't know. I mean, so are you guys a cult? I mean, if you really think about it in those terms,
Yeah, man, and I agree. Number one, what you're saying is so true, man. As a business, as a leader, it's like it's so hard to get people rowing in all of the same direction. And if you can, you create like a movement. And to the average people, the average business owners who can't get two employees rowing in the right direction. I mean, let's just be real. Most of America is fat, depressed, judgmental, critical, depressed, stressed out, can't see out, is living in survival state. So the people that are hating online, they're usually those dipshits that literally haven't built anything in the world anyways. The guys that have built stuff, they really admire when you can get 80 people, rowing in the right way, and you can build a culture, because it's the hardest thing to do. One of the coolest things that's ever happened to me today was like in our meeting, like one of our guys, he's in our tech department. He's not even in sales. He went from an admin guy to now, he'll be promoted as like the chief technology officer here pretty soon. He's making more money. He's amazing. He's amazing. He stands up today and he said, my 5-year-old son, he's been here for 3 years. He said, my 5-year-old son has never known anything more than a 2-bedroom apartment. I have a new puppy. The puppy's a year old. I've lived in 2-bedroom apartments my whole life. 2-bedroom apartment was crazy compared to where I came from. And he's like, I just bought my first 5-bedroom house. It's $1 million house. Okay. And he's like crying. And he's like, and I just want to thank all you salespeople and all the people in this company that made this possible. Dude, in my company, I have 7 or 8 people that I'm looking at right now. I have a sales floor right here, and I'm looking at some of them. And I know 7 or 8 of them have bought their dream houses in my company. You know why? Because they believe what we believe. They're out there attacking, they're pursuing, they show up, they work harder than, I mean, if there's somebody listening to this, they may have 1 employee that works hard. I've got 80 of them. Literally, I have a rule at our company where you have to leave by 9 o'clock and lock the building up, because they got people that will just stay all night. You know what I mean? Like they will just stay, work, grind, grow. They love where they work. And dude, I just didn't, man. I didn't. I've got kids running around here. I've got one of my top salespeople. He's got his 2 kids in his office right now, and they're usually here with us. And so we've just created a family. And to other people online, when you're in your full authenticity, like full who you are, like I really don't give a shit what people think on this podcast. I mean, I care, but I really actually don't. I'm just saying that to be nice. I just know who I am, and Andy knows who he is. So naturally, when you're doing that, everybody in the world wants to be who they are, but they don't have the courage to be who they are. And there's a few of us that do. And when you do that, you attract all of the right people. When you're hiding from who you are your whole life, and you're just a freaking numb shell, no wonder you just attract shitheads, and you're not going to develop a movement. You're not going to develop a cult. You're not going to develop people who want to win. You're not going to develop a lot of great people around you. So like guys like you did it because you've actually built something substantial and amazing. And the people who don't, it's okay. One day you will. One day you're going to be running to, I like, my family is here I want to trust the people I work with. And I know people are going to burn me. I'm fully okay with that. But I'm not gonna go through all of these things as a leader and then take that and treat people a certain way. That's the one thing I admire about Andy the most is I've watched Andy co-sign on people's cars, buy them a house. I mean, he bought one of our original guys a $1.2 million house, and then the guy stole data, sold data, like did things that like you wouldn't even imagine, right? And then put yeah, yeah, and then put things online, and like, Andy had like done so much stuff for this guy, right? And I was mad. I was like, dude, I'll go kill this guy. Like, I'm the kind of guy where like I'm from the hood, man. I will go out there, I'll beat your ass. Like I thrive on fighting. Like there's some people don't know how to tap into their rage. The reason why I've always run as a salesman is because I've got rage in me. And it's not like I'm an angry human. I'm not angry. I just want to win, and I want to cut your throat. And if you go against me or my company, it's going to be bad for you. And so like when Andy had that happen, I'm like, dude, I'll go kill this guy. And this was early on when I was just kind of coming up. And Andy's like, dude, what kind of energy is that? He goes, you're going to go be mad at people. And I'm like, I'm not going to trust anybody. He was on my sales team. I should have known this. And he said, Ian, welcome to being a leader. You're going to have people hurt you, steal from you, stab you in the back, some of your best friends, but we can't change the way that we are to people. He said, if you got cheated on when you were in high school by a girl, would you stop liking girls? And I was like, no. And he's like, well, then don't not trust people. In fact, let's lean in and trust people harder. Let's love people more. And let's just understand that people are going to be with you for a season. And when they're with you, do your best by them. And if they're gone, it's okay. It's going to be part of it. Those were things I had to grow in as a leader because I fully didn't understand because of who I am. Like we all grow up with a certain identity, and mine was fighting and just clawing my way up. And so I wanted loyalty. And in my company, the number one thing that we require is just loyalty, just being a good person, being loyal, working on yourself. And so I actually get to show up every day. And the one thing I'm super proud of is, I get to show up every day and there's not one employee that I don't like. And my whole life I showed up around people that I hated. And I had to do the job. And my families were never close to them. The business owners didn't care what their names were, what my kids did. The business owners didn't give a shit about none of that. And that's just not us, man. We're trying to rewrite the way culture is built. And in order to do that, we have to be really good leaders because we got families and kids on the line, you know?
Here's a question for you, right? There's a lot of controversy around Andy. I got to ask you, right? There's no controversy around you and your brothers. Overall, you guys have been a pretty two squeaky guys, right? Like two clean guys. There's a lot of controversy around Andy, and I'm not here to judge anyone. I tell people if people make mistakes, right? Like as you know, I get along with Andy. I'm not gonna say we're friends. I'm not gonna say we're not friends, but we're friendly, right? Like, hey, Andy, how you doing? How you been, brother? Like, hey, never did nothing bad to me. I can tell you that, right? Some people feel like he's a fake, right? Like, and that makes the Elliott Group a fake. And I don't agree with that makes the Elliott Group a fake because I got to know you. I got to know your brother. Oh yeah, and you guys are good, legit, good. Yeah, so yeah, the way you care about people. All right, so that's their different opinion. But there is a lot of controversy around Andy with what happened with the car dealership. I'm not gonna get into people will say Andy's never built and sold companies, and he's now trying to tell people how to do that. And I do see some, but, right, you guys sales train the there's no the business side. Can you talk about that part of it? 'Cause
Well, I don't think that we're trying to teach anybody how to. I think that number one, I love that you're asking these like real questions, and because I'm a real yeah, I'm a real person, and so like let me start with the controversy, and then let me go to the business.
because that's honestly his personal business. And as the people make mistakes, people get locked up every day. People have every day. People deserve a second chance. This is the greatest country in the world, and I don't understand why now your generation, not yours, you probably these 30-year-old kids, 35, they all want to kill each other and never let them rise back up. That's amazing to me that nobody wants to let people have a second chance. So I just don't agree with that.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, and in the business that we were in, I mean, you deal with a lot of guys that are in roofing, you know, and it's just crazy because you said like that I'm clean. Yeah, I mean, because they haven't found all the shit that I've done wrong out, right? And so it's like, like we all are clean till they find out different things that we've done, like I love that we have the highest level of integrity in our business currently because Andy does have a past, and Andy's past is the reason why we have this company because we serve broken people that aren't scared to say they're broken, aren't scared to say that they've had problems, aren't scared to say that they've been through absolute war. And I do believe that God gives you some of the biggest wars in your life, breaks you down, makes you just go through the university of adversity for a reason. And some people come out on the other side of that adversity and they use that adversity to really fuel them and to become a new person. And some people never do. Some people take the one thing that God gave them, their story, and they don't use it. The most powerful thing, and one of the reasons why so many people are attracted to us and so many people are controversial about it, is a lot of the controversial people just want to act like they're perfect, or maybe they are. We're not, right? So we're not going to serve everybody.
I promise you they are.
Yeah, they're not, and it's usually the guys that have the biggest demons in their closet that are throwing the biggest stones. Like there's a guy that was posting every single day about us and all of these different things, and then his wife just went viral because of how she was saying that he beat her for 2 years. His daughter just went viral online too, of saying all of these things about their dad. And I don't know if they're right or wrong, but he was doing a video every day on us. I've never met the guy. The guy's never met me. Look, I just don't have hater energy, so I don't understand haters, but he's never once met us. Anybody who's ever truly met us just understands like that we just have servant hearts. We're men of God. We've made mistakes and ultimately we've come back from them. And so we can teach people to come back from certain things because we've had to come back from a lot. And in the industry that I grew up in, I mean, let's say that you came in, Lance, and you're a dad, you're really trying to make it. You're a 580 credit score, and the bank needs you to make 5 grand, and you make 4,800. Well, I mean, there's 100 million car loans that were approved at that because anybody in the history of that business would go in and do that. Now, we can preach on integrity because it's something that we had to go through that he went through. But in where I grew up in that realm, like you just always did that in the roofing business. I mean, you're seeing, wait till there's even more regulation in some of these industries, and it'll be just like our industry. There's a lot of people that are saying, "Oh, here, let me take that insurance money, put it into the document, act like it wasn't there, and then put the roof on your house." But that's fraud, right?
Every day that happens.
Yeah, and but where we came from, we just didn't know a lot of these things, and then we were also here's the deal, we were also just surrounded by all of the wrong people, and so when you're surrounded by all of the wrong people, it's like you definitely do the wrong things. I did so many of the wrong things, and I talk about a lot of them because in order for me to really serve people, they've got to really know all of the bad shit that I've been through. In order Andy talks about these on stage, he'll talk about these on stage in front of thousands of people, and he'll cry and he'll break down. And you know what people will do? This is a guy that's a really alpha guy, but he's a really caring, loving guy. And when he'll tell people, like I just had a guy that was here yesterday, and he walks in and he's from Mexico. And he said at 10 years old, he came to an event this last week. His wife brought him. He didn't want to be here. He didn't like Andy online. He did it because his wife brought him, and he's very successful in the home services industry. And and he comes upstairs and he's crying. He's talking to Andy, so I have to sit in on this meeting because I'm like, "What is this? I want to know." And he said, "Man, when I was 10 years old, I was burned like unrecognizably from the bottom down." And he lifts up his shirt, and this guy's just tortured, burned, man. And his mom saw him, and she was so like I don't know what she was thinking, but she maybe couldn't deal with it, like, I don't know, but she left him. His whole family left him. Like, imagine your mom leaving you as you go, so you left him in a hospital in Mexico. Well, the hospital had to take care of him. He became an orphan. This hospital here in Arizona learned who he was, flew him out when he was like 11 and did surgeries on him to get him right. But he was a pissed off kid his whole life. He then went to prison. He did some bad things, and then he got out of it. And then he went and made a bunch of money and did good and started finding God. When he was 10 years old, though, he said he felt the power of Jesus when that hospital reached out and they changed him, but then he got disconnected from God as he grew. And he said he walked into our building, and we play worship music loud in our building. And he said, "I heard that very same song the last time that I met Jesus." And then he said, "I walked into Andy, judgmental of who Andy was, and Andy shifted my entire perspective on life." He's crying, he's bawling, and he's telling us all these stories, and he's showing us. And he said, "I finally feel like I can be the man that I've been wanting to be my whole life. I finally feel like," and this has nothing to do, it's not like Andy has something that's just so freaking incredible that he released him from some prison, but sometimes there's one speaker that has empathy, authenticity, that you can see yourself in a message that's been through something you've been. God sent us here for the lost people. I truly believe. I really don't care about making money. We make a lot of money. I care about these guys that are walking around in bondage of their old stories in the past, that don't think that they can do it. Maybe they don't have the courage to do it. And this guy said, "Man, like I've got 1,000 stories. I've got some of the craziest stories, but that one was just on my heart because there's a lot of people just walking around wanting to be the best version of themselves, tied back to some chains. And when they get in a place when there's a lot of people that are just truly themselves and willing to talk about it, they'll change." So we're controversial. I mean, maybe because we've got a past that's very public. When you're a public person, things are going to come out. But hate is a thing that only winners get. I mean, if you ain't getting no hate, you ain't doing shit anyways. Like if they're not talking about you, they ain't doing shit. You know why we built a big ass company? You know why we got a trophy? You know why we built a movement? You know why you know why, 7 families have the houses of their dreams on my sales team? You know why salespeople on my team make over $1 million? You know why? Because of the hate. Because the losers are sharing it to all of their audience. The winners are coming in, they're seeing what it is. And you want to know something? Man, some of the biggest haters online have become some of our greatest fans, some of our greatest clients, some of our greatest testimonials. Thousands of them. I could name thousands of stories of guys that came in, they hated us, and then So those things happen, but hate is a trophy only winners get. So if you're getting that hate, just don't let it distract you from the message of what God sent you here to do. He sent you here to do something big. And if you just are so concerned with what other people think, you'll never build anything great. Like you'll never build anything great if you only care what people think. So I mean, we just do us, man. And I love the hate because the higher that it is, it tells me that we're winning heavier. You know what I mean? It tells me that we're angering the devil.
I agree with you. The more people that hate on you, the more people that say shit about you that aren't shit, that have to look. Listen, you're a constant reminder when you're winning of why losers are stuck in their positions. And they really like, and I say it all the time, like losers don't like winners, man, and winners don't like losers, and there's no in between. There's no common ground. And
No.
as you really
Yeah.
start winning, you really start to hate losers because you have no tolerance for nonsense. You don't want to hear bullshit excuses. You just don't want to hear it. Here's a question
Yeah.
for you. How much of revenue will the Elliott Group do this year, you think, Paul?
I mean, we'll do giant revenue, but everybody talks about their revenue. Everybody's like, dude, I'm gonna do 80 million, 200 million, all this stuff. Dude, I honestly don't even care about the revenue. Here's what I care about. I care about the behaviors of the company. I care about our
What do you think the revenue will be? 'Cause I want to go somewhere with this. What do you think?
I mean, it'll be giant. It'll be high multiple eight figures, maybe even more. You know what I mean? But I mean, ultimately, we're measuring our impact not just by what we're doing here, what we're doing externally. But what question do you want to ask?
Because this is my thing when people say you never build a company, you guys know, because that's the one thing people say to me. People are like, Lance, why do you support? Because when people ask me what I think about Andy Elliott or you guys, I'm like, listen, these guys can sell. I'm like, they can sell.
That's what we, yeah.
And they're like, well, these guys never built a business. And I'm like, well, I'm hearing that they're going to do 40, 50, 60 million dollars this year. That's a business. And sales training is even harder. I believe you guys are probably one of the hardest professions to build. Makes sense because I'm in roofing, I'm in technology, I was in digital marketing. I'm in every business, right? Like, that's what LB Capital does. We're not in every business, but we know, you know what I'm saying? It's just a widget for me. But we're really nothing but a sales organization, all my companies. It's all we are. But you guys build, I think if we had to go out and start a sales training program, and for you guys in less than 6 years to get it to, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 million, whatever you're going to do, that's a lot of revenue. Ian. Yeah. A lot of revenue. And like most people never build their sales training program to 3 million, 4 million. It's no big deal. Like, so when people see you didn't build, whether you like you guys or not, clearly you build. I always tell people this. You can't fake the building you guys are in. I've seen your building. You can't fake that, right?
Yeah, and you can't fake that it's paid off too.
Okay, so you can't fake that. You can't fake that you have 100 employees there. I see you know who I love from your team? I wish I had her name. Cecilia.
Selena, she's sitting right over here. Yeah.
I love her.
She's amazing. She's incredible. Best heart ever. First woman we ever hired too. Because we had a bunch of guys running around here for a while, and then she was just she's such a special person.
Is she your first woman? Really?
Yeah, well, like we were like 2 years in, and like we just had like 5 or 6 guys on the phone, and and here's the deal. This is why most people say in coaching you don't build real business, because most of them aren't real businesses. Most of them are selling a Zoom call. They're not selling a software. They're not selling, like we are actually selling software also. So like we are just selling Zoom calls and this. We're selling transformation,
So
real systems, real processes. I mean, but like when companies are reaching out to us, they're not just buying a Zoom call. Like we have a software company that we're building that we will exit for multiple 9 figures in the next 2 years. Multiple 9 figures. Huge. I mean, and we're crushing it every day. We're selling 20 to 30 of them a day. So it's like we're building something that, what's that?
Name is software. Ian.
So we have so the number one thing, the number one problem that any organization has, any organization that has people, is getting the right people in their team. And so we partnered with a company, and these guys are just incredible tech guys. And we built an AI hiring system that will read the resumes, go find the right people, bring the right people in. It'll fully automate the hiring process up to a hiring manager to bring the right people on board. So you don't have to, as a business owner, wonder if this is the right person. We partnered with, I mean, we have like companies like Service Titan or in the automotive industry, Vin Solutions, and some of these LMSs and VMSs that we took thousands of salespeople, technicians, like, in HVAC, thousands of technicians. We screened them. We have data. We have we built a predictive model of like what the best salesperson for this job would actually be. Like how do these people actually perform when they say they're going to perform? How do we as a company like identify if this is actually a guy we want on the team? And so we built this predictive model that within 10%, it'll tell you what they're going to sell. It'll tell you who they are. So you don't waste time as a company. So, but here's the reason why they say that coaching companies don't have a company, because most of them don't. Most of them don't have, most of them don't have numbers. Most of them don't have KPIs. Most of them are just selling a little bit of information. And I'll be honest with you. Most of them are going to get wiped out by AI because they're not selling anything real. They don't have departments. They don't have KPIs. They don't have real financials. They don't have any of those things. And so some of them aren't running a real business. So I get that, but if they came into our company for 30 seconds and they were an actual operator, they would see a company that they'd never seen before. They would see a culture they've never seen before. They would see a business, a real standing brick and mortar business that they've probably never seen before. And so, they just have to see it. But yeah, no, I get it, because most of these dipshits online, they don't really have a company. They don't really have, like, it's not real. So it's like, I get it. I believe the same thing as them.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I've asked the question, because I know, my thing. This is, I don't think you guys are ever claiming to scale companies and then sell 'em.
No, no, no. Oh, you asked a good question too. You said about the scale,
Yeah,
about the exit. Yeah, I'm not, listen, the number one thing, hey, you're the exit guy. So you tell me if I'm right here. Most blue collar businesses, and I serve a lot of them, the number one thing when private equity is coming in to look for, they're looking for scalable sales processes and leadership processes. They're not trying to invest their money into a founder that's a founder led company. They're trying to invest their money into, like, listen, if you got 5 salespeople and they're all doing different shit and that's not a scalable process, you're not going to get a multiple, right? And so it's like, so listen, I've never sold a business, but most founders that have businesses, they don't really understand creating scalable systems and processes within their company, which I understand. And Andy ran some high level businesses. I'm running a high level business right now, but I'm not going out and be like, here's how you sell, here's how you exit a business. I've never said that. But here's what I'm going to go out and say. If you're going to sell your business and you want the highest multiple, you better have scalable systems and scalable leadership processes in place, or else you won't get shit from private equity. And so, what I can help,
I gotta bring you to the roofing conference. I gotta bring you to the conference. Build it to sell it. We're changing the name to Build It to Sell It for this reason.
bro, I love that name, dude. I love that name, dude. I love that name because
Build it to sell it. Everything build it to sell it. Like that.
I love that name, dude. That's so good.
I mean, and even if you don't want to sell your business, Ian, and you want to leave it to your kids, which I get that. Listen, I'm a father. I have 4 sons. I love my sons. Am I going to leave them any of my businesses? No,
You got 4 sons, no daughters?
they're daughters, baby. I know you.
Damn, dude, four Lances? What? That's so cool, dude. I love that.
And my thing is, this is like, if I'm going to leave something to my kids, though, I don't want them to have the stress of a headache every single day. So I want something that's scalable, profitable, has systems and processes in place that you can still. Do I look stressed out to you, Ian? Do I look like I'm having a bad?
No, man. Every time I meet you, you're just in your state. You're very authentic to who you are, and it's clear that you have your shit together, and it's clear you've come out on the other end of understanding these things that most business owners don't figure out till it's too late or they never do.
Well, I mean, I think most business owners, once again, their ego, right? Like, I'm a constant student. I have no ego. I, I, I believe in. I want to win. I have no problem saying that to anyone. I want to win. Like I'm like you. I'm competitive. I hate losing. Um, but you have to lose to learn. That's why we both start with L. I truly believe that you have to lose. To
Yep.
learn. But I feed it. I hate the process of losing. But I know every time I lose, I get that much better and that much closer to winning. So the reason why I think I have so much success is number one, I lost all the people I grew up with for the most part, and some close family members. And family doesn't make it right, And this is the thing. Like, if you want to go grab what you want to grab in life, you probably gotta let go of what you have. I know that sounds really messed up, but that's just the facts. You
Yeah.
can't go grab something that you want and hold on to what you have. And I've asked a lot of people to take this journey with me. A lot of people take this journey with me. And nobody except for my sister Jolynn, my CEO, and a few other people has signed up and said, I'm willing to take it with you. Because it's hard. It's brutal.
Yeah.
People say they want the outcome, but they're not willing to give the input to get the outcome. No different than
True that, man.
I know. Huh?
True that.
So like that's why people always here you go. Here's a question for you though. And I'm gonna ask this one because I know we're out of time. A lot of shit people will send me like Andy says you need to have a six pack to be successful. And we both know that's bullshit. You don't need to have a six pack to be successful. I don't think that's his message. I think his message is you gotta at least look presentable, right? If you don't take care of yourself, you're probably not gonna take care of your business. Right. I mean, then people argue there's a lot of fat billionaires out there. Can you kind of talk about what his message really is? I don't believe he's saying,
Well, I mean, dude, here's the deal. Andy was an out of shape guy who again looked in the mirror and hated who he saw. And so when he's talking to the older version of him that just knew that there was another level in him. His wife came in, she grabbed his love handles one morning and she said, "Hey, we've learned to live without you. You're in the pictures, but you're not in the pictures. You're never present. Your mind is a trash can and you're all over the place." And and he was an athlete that didn't look like an athlete and he wanted to. And so do I think you need to have a six pack to be successful? No. But listen, what we're really trying to preach, like they see the clips, okay? They see the clips, they take the clips out of context. And, we put the clips out of context sometimes just to trigger people, to get them pissed off. And we're cool with people getting pissed off at us. We want them pissed off at us because sometimes, man, in order to get people to change, you got to piss their asses off, Lance. Like you got to piss them off. So we're cool with that. But ultimately, even if you made all of the money in life, and then at the end of the life, you were under the lights and you could have made some different changes in your health, you would give up all of that money to be healthy. And and so we just value health here at our company. We want our men to be strong. We want them to go to the gym. We want them to eat right. We want them to just be in love with themselves and love themselves, not like in an arrogant, weird way. But dude, you lead better when you have more confidence about who you are and how you feel. Do you need to have a six pack? No, man. He'd be the first person to tell you for real. But he would say, dude, in our company, I got a guy that was 400 pounds when he started our program. We're not a physical training company. Okay. He started with us. He lost 200 pounds. He's selling better than ever. We hired him once he lost the 200 pounds. And it just shows that you can change. Is he ever going to have a six pack? No, because now he has a lot of loose skin and things like that. Okay. So he's never going to have a six pack, but that's okay. But I want to tell you one other thing real quick. I got to tell my sales team 2 seconds because we have this meeting that we never do. Say what up, guys. What up? Hey, finish I'm done with this in 10 minutes. Just grab everybody together and then we'll have a meeting. Okay. All right. Give me 10 minutes. Okay. Give me 10 minutes. Okay. All right. So we always have this meeting at 1 o'clock and we never miss it. No matter where we're at, we always get together and then we just kill this last part. Look, here's our CEO down here. She's always doing the work. Say what's up to Lance. You remember Lance. You met Lance. What's your name, brother? Tim. Tim? Ian, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So here's the last thing that I want to say about that. For a long time, for the first year in business, we never talked about health. We never talked about fitness. We never talked about God. We were a new business just trying to make money like everybody else. And it was very non-authentic to us. And we knew that it wouldn't change people. It wasn't who God called us to be, not just sales trainers. He called us to be transformational specialists and really help people. And I remember I signed my biggest account. Now, dude, I'm taking loans just to keep this business going. I'm just trying to figure it out. I went from like my sister, my first month in this company, one of my sisters passed away. I've got a lot of brothers and sisters. She passed away from drugs. She left behind 3 kids, a 9-year-old, a 3-year-old a 1-year-old at the time, and like a 14-year-old. And I'm the only one in my family that's made money. So I'm incurring more bills because I got to take care of them. My whole life is changing. My grandfather passes away the next week, and then I went through a big breakup, and she didn't support that I was going down to, and I wasn't naive. I'd lost money in business before, and I said, we don't have a product, but I believe in this guy. I believe in this guy, Andy. He changed my life through what he taught me. Like, I believe in him. Come with me. She wouldn't come. So I lost 3 things. God is going to strip you from a lot of the things that happen, and he's going to strip you from some things that don't serve you, some doors that don't serve you, and also things are going to happen when you go to get this big life. And if you just quit along the way, you're never going to get the big life. I didn't quit. I didn't turn around. COVID happened in my business. Car salespeople that couldn't even freaking couldn't even put two sentences together or making 500-600 grand. I was the number one salesperson in the world, and I wasn't making 500 grand as a car salesman. I could have easily gone back to selling cars. It would have been way easier than the path that I was on, just like you said. But you know what? I told somebody I was going to do something, and I freaking did it. I stayed with him when all the dealers, I was flying around all of the world, closing them on accounts. They're like, dude, just come work for us. You're making $1,000 a week. But I never quit on that dream. I never quit on those things. Let me mute my phone. I'm sorry, bro. Let me mute my phone. So many people are calling me. They know this meeting's supposed to happen. So I never quit on that dream. But you know what? On that health side, Andy said one day when I closed that first account, this big account, 20 stores, man, I'm fired up. And Andy calls me and he says, hey, I'm going to go online. I'm going to start triggering people on fitness. I'm going to start talking about the shit that really changes people's life, like God and fitness. Look at the last 10 salespeople that came to our event and leaders. The only ones that are breaking through, they're actually understanding God. They're actually understanding fitness, and they're actually breaking through, because we would invite like our close guys to work out with us. We would invite them to church, and then we would teach them sales training. And those guys always broke records. But we were scared to tell everybody like who we really were, man. We were still just like trying to run a business and not like trying to run the calling that God called us to be about, man. And Andy says, I'm gonna go post this. I said, bro, we serve the car business. It's a lot of people out of shape and a lot of people that aren't in touch with God. He said, I don't care. That account called me. That account said, I'm going to cancel if Andy doesn't put his shirt on. Tell him to put his shirt on. I called Andy. I said, hey, bro, you got to put your shirt on and take that shit down, because I didn't have the courage. I was just trying to survive. I got all this stuff going on in my life. I'm like, Andy, bro, I'm going to lose this account. And he said, fuck them. He said, God called, and that's not the best. That's not the most Christian language, but that's what he said. And he said, I'm going to be who I know the world needs to see and who I really am. I'm done being fake. I'm done trying to make money. I'm sick of chasing the money. We're going to just chase who God has called us to be, and people aren't going to like it. That's okay. Account cancels. Our business goes down 30%. 2 months, I'm stressed out of my mind. Like, dude, you did the wrong thing. Again, I don't have the courage. I'm 29 years old at the time. I'm not thinking about anything other than making money. I get what he's saying, but I don't really understand it. And then our business shot up 4,000%. The right people started to hear the message. The right people started to grow. The right people started to say, dude, you know what? I am a leader. And if I'm an alcoholic, if I'm watching porn every day, if I'm cheating on my wife, if I'm doing all of these things, I'm going to show up a shell of myself, and my team is going to show up that way. Listen, your team, I'll end it here, can only have 80% of the energy you have. So if you're a little bummy energy baby trying to build something big, good luck, bro. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck not pursuing the best version of yourself. Good luck being a little baby. Good luck having a little shitty mindset. Listen, if you got a shitty marriage and you're trying to build a big business and your team has to look over at your shitty ass marriage, understand they're going to have shitty personal lives. And the team, the people, the salesperson with the best personal life will beat the crap out of a salesperson or a leader with a bad personal life. So we have a lot of people that are married, not perfect. We're not a perfect company, man. We are just as broken, okay? We're not perfect. But our leaders, they've got a real relationship. They're not the people that you see online and then you meet them in person, you're like, that guy's a turd. No, you meet him online, you're like, God, man, that guy's 40 times better than he is online. Like, that guy's freaking the real deal. And our team knows that. So our team is some of the best fathers and mothers and leaders and community organizers, and they organize charities and all this shit. And so you have to understand, as a leader, they're only going to be who you are. And if you're a turd, bro, you're just giving somebody no chance at actually running a good family and a good business. So you should be ashamed of yourself. And if you are ashamed of yourself, get training, get growth. Go to the freaking Exit Rich conference. I'm sure you guys are talking about exiting freaking 30% of the time, and 80%, 70% of it is identity, leadership, growth, your mindset, and all the things that you've had to do. Because yeah, you know some processes and systems, Lance, and all the cool shit, and you could take somebody's business and you could flip it upside down and make them see a whole different version of their business and their systems. But it won't matter if you don't change. Like, you got to be the change. So that's my message to leaders, is like, really just, like, get around people that are doing it. Get around people that have done it, and drop the ego, and freaking, number one, be connected to God. That's it. We need more leaders like you in the world. That I can tell that you're a guy that, man, you're not just talking about it. you're truly living it. And in the Bible, it says, learn it, live it, and then loan it and loan it to other people. So I appreciate everything that I've learned from you, just even online in passing, and who you are, for having me on the show. We've had a lot of like little technical difficulties, first on your side, then now on my side, then on yours or whatever. But maybe that's just because, the devil doesn't want this to get out to everybody, because we're going to inspire too many people and get them fired up and get them to go to your damn conference and change their damn lives or something. So, but thank you. I want to tell you, I appreciate you. I look up to the things that you're doing. Maybe we can collaborate some stuff to help all of our business owners here in 2026. And, keep being just a great dad to those 4 boys. There's nothing cooler than seeing a good dad. Like, that's the coolest thing to me.
You too, brother. I'll call you.
Thank you. Love you, buddy.